How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NHL DFS preview show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined with McKinley 412. How we doing, McKinley? It's been a while, and no NHL today.
Yeah, it's weird not having an NHL slate at all in the middle of the season on a weekday, but there was only one scheduled. COVID hit. It sounds like COVID's hitting every sport in the world right now. Soccer's getting hit over in Europe with some big clubs. NBA's got some things with Chicago. Now the NHL's got it going on. So we'll see how this all transpires.
Yeah, it's been like that this time of year. We have 37 players tested positive in the NFL too. So it's just that time of year, flu season, and when we're dealing with the global pandemic still, and it's just gonna continue to happen throughout. We have to be on top of it for late news, whether it can happen to any sport at any time. So keep your ears to the ground and your hands close to your phones for when lineups lock, because you never know what's going to happen at this time of year. So with that being said, let's roll this into a huge 13-game slate tomorrow with quite a bit of favorites, big favorites, high totals. We got Florida minus 300 facing off against Ottawa. Like them in that matchup, obviously. Pittsburgh 290 versus a really bad Montreal team. Unfortunately, we have the Jets versus your Sabres minus 260. We have the Avs, who have been an offensive machine lately. They're minus 200 against a New York team that is without Igor Shesterkin. And Tampa Bay minus 200 versus the LA Kings at home. What are your thoughts on those big favorites and some of our favorite totals here?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a fun slate when you got all these massive favorites. I'm assuming from a GPP standpoint, it makes things a little easier. You kind of know where to fade or where to kind of pivot. But yeah, no, I think all these teams are in a great spot. I think Colorado could probably be even higher of a favorite than just minus 200. But I think from a non-DFS standpoint, Toronto at Edmonton, like that is the game to watch. I mean, even from a DFS standpoint, that game's going to be fun with all the star power. It's going to have goals. It should be fun.
Yeah. Love one side of that. We'll talk about it a little later. Let's get going into our favorite positions or targets for position by position breakdown. I'll kick us off with Tavares, 7,700. We were talking about that Toronto-Edmonton game. I like the second line here with Nylander. Those two have been on fire lately. Tavares has scored over 14 points in his last four matchups, 17 versus Winnipeg, 14 versus Columbus, 14 versus Tampa, and 16 versus Chicago. He's got 2 goals, 3 assists in the last 4 games. Just a really solid matchup here. I'm pretty positive they put Draisaitl and McDavid on the same line again, or because I looked like they put DraftKings had Draisaitl again at like wing or something, one random slate.
Yeah, but I think so. In their morning skate on Monday, they were on the same line again.
Yeah, and that's why I'm gonna love this second line for Toronto going up against Nugent Hopkins, Fogle, and Puljujarvi. Or even if they try to match up, Matthews versus that second line too. Obviously Edmonton's got the home ice. They're going to be able to match, but it doesn't matter. Edmonton, if they give up penalties and Tavares, Nylander, Matthews are on the ice at the same time, it's going to be pretty lethal. I like Tavares because of the salary difference. Your thoughts on that and your favorite cash targets?
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. If Edmonton's going to stack everybody on a single line, like their possession guys, absolutely. Targeting the second line of Toronto makes total sense. As far as cash goes, top dog, it's going to be Nathan McKinnon. He's only got 3 goals in 15 games so far this season, but he's got 18 assists to go along with it, and he's just shooting the puck like crazy. He's got 6, 5, and 8 shots on net in his past 4 games. 6 out of his past 7 games, he's got over 20 DraftKings points. This guy's floor lately has been 20 DraftKings points. It's insane. So now he's going up against the Rangers. Rangers have been amazing this season. But I still think, if Georgia has a net, they can really struggle. Once Shesterkin went down, their defense, they've been letting in quite a few more goals. I'm just checking here. Well, maybe Shesterkin's back. I don't know. We'll see. But in either case, I mean, Colorado at home, they're clearly the number one team offensively on this slate, in my opinion. I know Florida's got the better odds, but still, I think Colorado's number one for me. Mid-tier for cash, I'm going to go with Norris for Ottawa. Ottawa is going up against Florida, and I think this is going to be a really high-paced game. Vegas seems to think so too, with an over/under of 6.5. Florida, great team on home and ice, but they can be leaky on the defensive end for sure. Norris, he's their top-line center. He skates on that top power play unit for Ottawa, and he's got a goal in 4 of his past 5 games. Shoots the puck quite a bit, so he's kind of really leading the charge here alongside Batherson and alongside Kachuk. I really think he can do some damage, especially at this low price tag for him at just 5.1K. We're going with Minnesota, Eriksson Ek.
Yeah, I like Eriksson Ek in Minnesota. We talked a little bit about it before, how Minnesota just plays at a different level at home. And Carolina without Aho lost to Vancouver the other night. I'm not sure the status of Sebastian yet, but I know Minnesota, regardless, is going to be a really tough matchup for them at home. Eriksson Ek in the last couple of games, he's been really, really good getting to the net here. He's got 5 straight games over 10 points. He had a goal and an assist versus San Jose, a goal and an assist versus Edmonton, 2 assists versus Toronto. So these matchups where it's back and forth, up and down the ice, kind of shootout style matchups, he's going to have a solid floor of shots on goal. He has 4, 6, 4, 4, and 3 in his last 4 games. So I really like Eriksson Ek. He doesn't really skate with anyone you would think is notable. I'm not sure if they have Foglino, Marcus Foglino, and Greenway, but he seems to just have a nose for the puck. And we know this team, Minnesota, plays their offense through the back with the defense. So I love him as a little sniper in the middle of the floor, and I think he could come away with some points tomorrow in a nice matchup. And I'm going with Hurdle. I was going back and forth between Stutzel and Hurdle, and obviously I went with Thomas Hurdle in a nice matchup here versus Seattle, a team they should have no problem with here at home. Hurdle in his last few games has been on a tear. They haven't raised the price. I don't know. Maybe it's just DK falling asleep, but he's got a goal in his last 4 matchups, 11, 17, 42 with a hat trick versus Calgary, and then he scored against Columbus. He's just been on a real tear. He's not really a shots on goal type of player. He does get like 1 or 2 or 3, but the shots that he's taken are high danger shots. So I love Thomas Hurdle in this matchup. Moving on to the winger position. I'm going to start us off with Kyle Connor versus your Buffalo Sabres. Connor, 3 goals in his last 2 games. He's skating with Scheifele and Wheeler. That line has been on fire lately for Winnipeg. Buffalo struggles. They look like they found a goalie, though. He's certainly played better than
everybody else.
Yeah, but they're still giving up goals. They're still weak on defense. So give me Kyle Connor, Winnipeg Jets for sure tomorrow as a probably lower owned play with the big guns in the Toronto Edmonton game. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Just real quick, Wheeler's hurt. I'm fairly certain.
Oh, he got hurt.
But I mean, you're still skating with Kopp on that right wing, so that's
right.
Still an amazing line, and an amazing spot for Connor. I thought about putting Connor in. I don't know. These past 2-3 games, Buffalo's just kind of really shut it down defensively and tried to play things a little bit slower. They went like 10 straight games where it was like 7-4, 7-4, 6-5, 7-3. It was just absurd. And now they've played a couple of like 2-1, 3-2 kind of games. So I don't know. Connor, I still think he's in a great spot. But we're going to go over here with Meyer. I mean, you already talked about San Jose and Hurdle, the Ninja Hurdle. I can't believe you didn't use the nickname. Um, but Timo Meyer's just been incredible this season. He's the cash darling. If you've been in the Discord here at FSI, you know that we've been targeting him a lot just because he just shoots the puck a ton, and that's what we love about him. Shoots the puck a ton, gets on the score sheet, and like you said, San Jose's in a nice matchup here. Over into the mid tier, Sam Reinhart, a former Sabres guy. He's now down in Florida. Florida kind of like shuffled their lines around. Real quick with Florida, Barkov's out. He went back on the IL. So that is kind of a big blow to their offense there. But still, Reinhart skating with Huberdeau, skating with Bennett, going up against Ottawa at home. Florida at home is a beast. This game's going to have a lot of goals. And at 5.2K, Reinhardt's been kind of leading the charge for this Florida team as of late. Like, he definitely has upside and scoring potential. You know, I watched it here in Buffalo, even with a disastrous team. He was consistently a 20 goal scorer, getting, 30 assists. So I love Reinhardt, 5.2K. I don't mind playing him here. But so I went with a former Sabres guy, and now you're going with your Blue Jackets, Bjorkstrand.
Yeah, going Bjorky. He's really picked it up lately. He had 2 goals versus Toronto. I know they were in like the fourth or the third period, but he's putting up a lot of shots. He had put up a lot of shots for Seattle as well. 4 goal and assist in that matchup. Vancouver kind of a little, mid-season revitalize that team with a new coach. But Columbus really putting up some high danger chances, and Bjorkstrand's been on the other end. Now, he certainly is a player that has a floor. 3 points, 2 shots on goal is definitely possible. But when Bjorkstrand has his day, it's 2 goals or multiple points. And I think Columbus can maybe come away with a few points in this matchup. Demko has been really good for the Vancouver Canucks. I do think he could be quite chalky as a goalie tomorrow if he does get the start. That's why I think this sets up for a decent GBP play. If the Blue Jackets can spoil that party, and Bjorkstrand's probably leading the way. Random games we've had where it's 5-4, and you're just like, how is this happening? Like, how are the Blue Jackets just continuously putting up goals in it? And he just seems to be in the middle of it. So I like Bjorkstrand tomorrow, and I'm gonna go with Case as my second value winger here for Toronto, playing with Matthews. 5 straight games, over 10 points, putting up a ton of shots. He's on the first power play unit. He's just a really solid value play in a 6.5 total, where he's just putting up a ton of fantasy points lately. So give me Case for sure. I think that's probably the cash option in this spot, but there's a guy better and cheaper at the moment. Go ahead and talk about Mr. Burke.
Yep, Burakovsky, cover guy. I think this is going to be the first guy that you put into your lineups, at least in cash on Tuesday night. So Burakovsky, Landeskog went down. Colorado just can't escape injuries. They've now had McKinnon out for a while, Rantanen. Now it's Landeskog's turn. So Burakovsky moved up to that top line. And in the 2 games that he's kind of been up in that top line, he had 1 full game and 1 half game. After Landeskog went down, he's got 5 goals, just himself. 5 goals. He had a hat trick last time out. He shot the puck 10 times in those 2 games. So at 4K with Colorado's offense, top line, top power play unit as well. He's clearly going to be your first guy that you put in to your lineups for cash for tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Really solid play right there, Burakovsky. Moving on to the defender position, it looks like Erik Karlsson has made his return. I mean, I played him the other night, and he just absolutely smashed. He's got 21 points versus Dallas. Putting up the shots on goal. He's getting blocks, at least 2 a game. He's got a point streak going here of 4 straight games. 8 goals and 10 assists on the year. He's got 53 shots on goal, 25 block shots. Carlson, ladies and gentlemen, appears to be back. And I'm not missing this before it gets up to like 7 or 8K, like traditional Carlson numbers of old. And now he's getting Seattle. That's just a great spot. I mean, I even like another San Jose defender here in your boy Ferraro, 3,900. I think Seattle in an up and down matchup can put up some shots on goal. So I think there's the block shot bonus in play here. He's back down under 4K. I think it all aligns for him as well. And if San Jose can get multiple points, he might steal an assist here from someone. But yeah, I like both of these San Jose defenders. What are your thoughts on that and where your leans? It seems like we love this. We have like an FSI defender member to talk about here.
A Ferraro. I mean, when this season ends and we look back, I think like Ferraro and his block shot run and us coring him like 6 straight slates is definitely going to be on there. It was absurd what he was doing. It was hilarious because he would only be like 4% owned. It just didn't make any sense. The guy had a block shot bonus at 3.6K for like 10 straight games and nobody was playing him. So
right.
Loved it. Made me a lot of money, so I'm happy.
Right.
But as far as the cash targets Tuesday night, Aaron Ekblad for Florida. This Florida Ottawa game, I mean, this is my 4th player from that game, 2 on each side. I think it's going to see a lot of goals. Ekblad, he shoots the puck a ton. He's a shot on goal bonus threat every single night. He's a point bonus, getting 3 points, whether it's goals, assists, whatever. He's definitely that threat as well. Now he's going up against Ottawa, the worst team in the league, against limiting defenders to fantasy points. So I think he's just an absolute smash spot here. Biggest favorite, biggest game total, highest implied team total, facing against the worst team against his position. It all lines up. Ekblad, amazing spot. Trouba for the Rangers. I'm going to go with him at 5.1K. Going up against Colorado, but Trouba, he blocks a lot of shots. He's going to have to do a lot of work against this Colorado team. He sees 20 plus minutes of ice time every single night. He's got double-digit DraftKings points in like 10 of his past 12 or 10 of his past 13 games. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but he's been on a crazy run. If you just kind of like go through his logs and from a fantasy perspective, he's just been solid. So we'll go there. And then for a cheap guy, we're going to go with Savard. I know we've talked about him a couple of times here. He's going up against Pittsburgh on Tuesday night, 3.4K. He's got 4 straight games with block shot bonus, 5 of his past 6. And it's not like he's just scraping by. He's getting 4, 5, sometimes 6 block shots. He's going to see 23 plus minutes of ice time, penalty kill, power play. It's really all you can ask for when you're down in this range at defender. So I like him in that spot. But you're going with Mr. Bean.
Yeah, Jake Bean. Bobquist is out for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So that kind of catapults Bean up into power play 2 ice time. He skates with Werenski. He skates, there's a little correlation there with Bjorkstrand. Won it in overtime for us the other night. Bean has come into his own as a real solid defender for Columbus. Block shots and shots on goal. They're all kind of a part of his game. We're really hoping for, one of the bonuses to hit for us or maybe an assist, which is definitely possible with getting some of that, power play 2 ice time. Columbus isn't too bad on the power play. And like I said, they score randomly. When everybody's not looking, you'll look up and Columbus has 4 goals. So I really like that opportunity for him. Okay. That'll wrap things up for the defender position and our position by position breakdown. We'll head into some of our favorite line stacks. My GBP is going to be that second Toronto line, Tavares, Kerfoot, Nylander. I also wanted to make a note that you could go any way you want with this Toronto line stack. If you wanted to do Matthews, Tavares, Nylander, that's certainly a possibility. It's really expensive to do so. But that power play, like I said, is really, really good. You can go case with Tavares and Nylander or Case, Nylander, Matthews, just every which way. And don't forget about Morgan Riley. I think he's got 2 games of 4 assists this year. So definitely a guy that's well equipped to score on any given slate. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious here. It's that Colorado line 1. McKinnon Rantanen's certainly going to cost a pretty penny. I think McKinnon's 9.5 we saw, and Rantanen's like 8.4. I think he's the top price winger. Obviously, Burakovsky at only 4K. You can easily slide him in there, and that's going to make it a pretty solid line stack if you want to go that route in cash. Obviously, Florida, they're going to be a heavy team to target against in cash. I think one interesting thing is we haven't really talked about any Pittsburgh skaters at all. And they're a minus 280, minus 290 favorite at home against Montreal.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just intriguing. I don't think they should be that big of a favorite. I don't know, but just something I thought about just as I was kind of talking right there was Pittsburgh could be going under the radar tonight or Tuesday.
We just got to make sure Getzel's still in the lineup. I know he's on the mend, I believe.
Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention. I know he was out for a little bit. Kind of bummer. Yeah. I know one of our, who was it, Matt Man, he was sad about his Guento going down. He loves to play him, so.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys, that'll wrap things up for tonight's breakdown. Well, today's breakdown for tomorrow's NHL. Oh, God, I just butchered that. That'll finish up for the NHL breakdown. Start the whole thing over. For Tuesday's NHL slate. All right, guys, 13 games. Best of luck. Like this video, comment below. Hopefully it was helpful for you. You can follow me on Twitter at TKNation47. You can follow McKinley here at McKinley_412. All right, guys, thank you again, and best of luck.